When you think of Europe, what comes to mind? Historic cities, iconic landmarks, and timeless culture, right? But there's a quieter story unfolding, a story of young, vibrant communities reshaping the continent. Across Europe, Muslim populations are rising rapidly, influencing cities, culture, and society. Today, we're taking you on a journey across 10 countries where this demographic transformation is most visible. By the end, you'll see Europe like never before. So let's get started. Number 1, Sweden. The moment you hear the story of Sweden, your mind immediately pictures peaceful Scandinavian cities, white snow, and a slow-paced lifestyle. But behind this calm lies a fast-moving demographic story. Today, people of Muslim background in Sweden are estimated to make up around 8% of the population, which has already brought noticeable changes to Sweden's social and urban life. This figure matches expectations from the US State Department's 2023 report and upcoming surveys. In cities like Stockholm, Malmö, and Gothenburg, the concentration of Muslim communities is remarkable. Stockholm has more than half of the Muslim population concentrated in certain districts. Gothenburg has around 10 to 15%, and Malmö is home to nearly 50,000 Muslims, reshaping local culture, marketplaces, and dining spots. This growth is not solely due to immigration. Families who moved here are generally young and have children, which affects fertility rates and the age structure. Researchers repeatedly highlight that Muslim populations in Europe tend to have younger and higher fertility demographic profiles, accelerating population growth over the long term. Looking at high-flow migration scenarios, projections modeled by institutes like Pew suggest that Sweden's Muslim share could reach 20 to 30% by 2050, significantly affecting urban landscapes, political debates, and social services. Evidence of this transformation is already visible in new mosques, halal markets, and bilingual community centers rapidly appearing across urban areas. The romantic aspect of this transformation is that it is not just new buildings or food outlets. A new cultural blend is emerging. Children in playing football on grounds, cups of tea outside mosques, and the soft echo of the call to prayer alongside church bells. All of this is shaping a Sweden that is rewriting its identity for the 21st century. Number 2, Belgium. Belgium is a small but very symbolic European country, and here, the growing presence of the Muslim community can be clearly felt in cities across the nation. Islam is essentially the second largest religion in Belgium, and according to various estimates, around 4 to 7.6% of the population is of Muslim background. This growth is not a recent phenomenon. After the 1960s, when Belgium signed bilateral labor immigration agreements, many people from Turkey and the Maghreb, North Africa, began arriving, mainly to work in industries like mining, steel, and automobiles. Today, Belgium has a distinctive feature. The Muslim population is not evenly spread across the country, but is concentrated in major cities and working-class neighborhoods. For example, according to a 2022 survey, about 24.1% of Brussels' population is Muslim, while the Wallonia and Flanders regions have lower percentages, roughly 8% in Wallonia and 7 to 8% in Flanders. This means that if you walk through Brussels or its suburbs, you will see a significant number of people from a Muslim background. Mosques, halal grocery shops, immigrant community markets, and cultural centers are visible everywhere. This gradual shift is bringing a clear multicultural flavor to Belgium's social fabric. Belgium's case also shows that Europe's Muslim population is growing not just due to immigration, but through settlement, next-generation births, and social integration. The country is shaping a complex but evolving identity between its colonial past, migration history, and European urban lifestyle. Number 3, France. When we talk about the Muslim population in Europe, France is always in the spotlight because this country is prominent both in terms of population size and diversity. According to the latest estimates, roughly 8.8 to 9% of people in France are of Muslim background. This percentage might not seem very high, but in absolute numbers, it represents more than 5.7 million people, which is significant compared to any other major European country. Historically, France's Muslim community mostly consists of families who immigrated from North Africa, Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia due to colonial ties and labor migration. This means that in France, Muslim identity and European life are intertwined. Neighborhoods like the banlieues, immigrant hubs, and urban areas reflect where Muslim culture, French secularism, and multiculturalism intersect. One of the key reasons for this growth is birth rates combined with a young population. As Europe's overall data shows, Muslim communities tend to be relatively young and have slightly higher fertility rates compared to other European communities. Additionally, France's social, political, and cultural environment makes this demographic shift particularly particularly interesting. Laïcité, secularism, debates about integration, immigrant rights, and the balance between assimilation and multiculturalism are all ongoing parts of French public discourse. The growth of the Muslim population adds new layers to these discussions, shaping the country's future. If you ever walk through Paris, Marseille, Lyon, or any large French metropolitan city, you will notice halal restaurants, immigrant markets, second-generation Muslim youth, and mixed neighborhoods. This is not just a demographic change. It is a cultural transformation where France is redefining its identity. Number 4. Netherlands. The Netherlands, known for its liberalism, tolerance, and open society, is also witnessing a gradual but steady rise in its Muslim population. According to recent estimates, 2019 to 2023, Muslims make up roughly 5 to 6% of the Dutch population. Islam is the second largest religion in the country. Most Muslims live in major cities such as Amsterdam, Rotterdam, The Hague, and Utrecht. This gradual shift is driven by a combination of migration, particularly immigrants and children of immigrants, settlement, and the births of the next generation. Muslim families, often of immigrant backgrounds, are creating a hybrid Western plus Muslim identity, coexisting naturally with the non-Muslim Dutch environment. The Netherlands has historically followed a unique model of integration and assimilation. Despite receiving immigrant laborers and refugees over the years, Dutch social welfare, education, and civic systems have maintained relative tolerance. This has allowed Muslim youth and their children to grow up in an environment aligned with liberal values and secular norms, resulting in a distinct hybrid identity. The long-term impact could be significant. If current growth trends continue, the Netherlands' demographic profile will continue diversifying, making a multi-ethnic and multicultural society increasingly visible in the future. Number 5. Germany. Germany's story is being written amid one of Europe's largest demographic transitions, a story where industrial chimneys, the Autobahn, and centuries-old European architecture are now accompanied by a new multicultural chapter. Germany today has the second largest Muslim population in Europe, and its growth is driven by a chain of historical factors, not just one. First, during the 1960s Gastarbeiter era, workers from Turkey helped power Germany's industries. Their families, children, and subsequent generations made Germany their home. Today, Germans of Turkish origin form a significant community, fully embedded in the cultural heartbeat of German cities. However, Germany's most substantial demographic boost came after 2015, following the Syrian civil war and conflicts across the Middle East. Germany accepted a large number of refugees, with hundreds of thousands arriving in a single year, giving the Muslim demographic a new surge. Today, the Muslim population in Germany is estimated to be roughly 6 to 7%, unevenly distributed across cities such as Berlin, Cologne, Hamburg, and Frankfurt. Here, Middle Eastern bakeries, Turkish donor shops, halal restaurants, mosques, and multi-ethnic markets have become a natural part of the urban environment. Germany's Muslim population is relatively young, which accelerates long-term growth. While Germany's native population is aging, young Muslim adults and families maintain higher fertility rates, sustaining demographic momentum. Alongside migration, this natural growth positions Germany toward a future where urban multiculturalism could become a core part of its identity. Walking through Berlin's U-Bahn or downtown Frankfurt, you experience a multilingual, multi-ethnic environment where the Muslim community plays a central role. This transformation is not just about numbers. It's a social and cultural shift. Diverse student groups at universities, immigrant background professionals in corporate offices, and political debates around integration and identity all reflect Germany's evolving 21st century Europe. If current trends continue, the Muslim presence will become even more visible in the coming decades, creating a layered, rich, and dynamic multicultural Germany. Number 6. Austria. When you hear Austria, images of alpine mountains, classical music halls, and Vienna's coffee culture immediately come to mind. A country famous for its elegance, royal heritage, and European charm. But behind this shine, Austria is writing another story, a steadily rising Muslim demographic. Today, Austria's Muslim population is estimated at around 8%, placing it among the fastest growing Muslim shares in Europe. This growth did not happen overnight. Its roots trace back decades, when Turkish workers and Balkan migrants joined Austria's labor force in the 1960s to 70s. Over time, their families, children, and subsequent generations gradually began shaping Austria's urban culture into a new mosaic. Walking through Vienna's streets, you can see a European Middle Eastern fusion so naturally integrated that it feels part of the city's rhythm. Alongside Turkish bakeries, new halal shops, mosques, community centers, and immigrant-friendly markets thrive. Districts like Favoriten and Ottakring have become epicenters of multicultural life, where European and Muslim cultural threads weave together. Every few blocks, you'll encounter immigrant-run businesses that simultaneously preserve their original cultural identity while blending into Austrian tradition. A major factor driving Austria's Muslim growth is the community's youthfulness. The population has a strong natural base for future growth. Muslim families are concentrated in cities, which strengthens community support systems. Schools, social groups, youth associations, and cultural events form a vibrant ecosystem that not only sustains presence, but strengthens it. Political and social debates in Austria remain naturally heated. Immigration and integration shape discussions, while on the ground, an organic, multicultural Austria continues to emerge. From cinemas to public transport and universities, immigrant background youth show confidence and visibility. This transformation is turning Austria into a culturally dynamic and demographically redefined nation. If current projections continue, Austria's Muslim population could reach around 20% by 2050, representing one of Europe's sharpest demographic shifts. This shift is more than numbers. It's a living story where Vienna's music, Austrian tradition, Turkish influence, Balkan heritage, and Middle Eastern culture merge to create a new Austria. Number 7, United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is one of Europe's most interesting examples of demographic transformation, not only because of the numbers, but also due to the depth of influence the Muslim population has on British culture, politics, economy, and identity. Today, around 6.5% of the UK's population is of Muslim background, but the community's visibility, influence, and contribution far exceed this percentage. London, for instance, feels like a mini world. From East London's Whitechapel and Stratford to West London's Southall, Muslim communities have become a vibrant tapestry woven into the city's DNA. Mosques, Islamic centers, halal restaurants, South Asian and Middle Eastern grocery stores, and immigrant-run businesses are integrated so naturally that they feel part of the city's rhythm rather than a separate minority culture. In London, the Muslim share is estimated around 15 to 16%, higher than any other region in the UK, making cultural diversity a tangible reality in schools, markets, public events, and even nightlife. Cities like Birmingham, Manchester, Bradford, Luton, and Leicester are considered the UK's multicultural heartlands. People from Pakistani, Bangladeshi, Indian, Somali, Middle Eastern, and Turkish backgrounds have shaped entire neighborhoods, shopping districts, educational ecosystems, and business landscapes. One key feature of UK Muslim communities is that immigrant heritage is not limited to the first generation. Second, third, and even fourth generation British Muslims have developed a dual British plus Muslim identity. This is why the community accelerates in social mobility, education, entrepreneurship, sports, media, and politics. Muslim population growth in the UK is steady and natural, driven not only by immigration, but also by strong birth rates and a young population. British Muslims are among Europe's youngest demographic groups, ensuring long-term growth momentum. University student societies, campus hijabi students, Islamic architecture-inspired mosques, and public figures like Mohammed Siraj, Moeen Ali, and Hamza Yousaf are all reshaping the UK's cultural framework. The UK's political landscape reflects this transformation. Today, Muslim MPs are more represented in parliament than in any other major Western European country, a sign that Muslim communities are deeply embedded in public life. From biryani and kabsa aromas in Birmingham's markets to Middle Eastern vibes in Manchester's streets, Leicester's festive neighborhoods, and South Asian influence in Luton, the UK feels like a modern global city-state. If current trends continue, the UK's Muslim population could reach 13 to 15% by 2050, making British culture even more multi-layered and dynamic. Conversations around identity politics, social integration, and multiculturalism will naturally continue, but the ground reality indicates a future of blended, interconnected, and globally influenced cultural synthesis. Number 8, Finland. Finland, a country often called the world's quiet powerhouse, where the serenity of 1,000 lakes, snow-covered forests, and the magical glow of the midnight sun combine to create a unique world. Its people are known for being polite, calm, and deeply thoughtful. But beneath this icy beauty, a very interesting and fast-changing demographic story is unfolding. One where the Muslim population is becoming a rapidly emerging part of Finland's social landscape. Today, Finland's Muslim population is estimated at around 2%, but the significance lies less in the percentage and more in the speed of growth. Historically, Finland was not a country of large-scale migration. It remained culturally homogeneous and inward-focused for many years. However, a quiet shift began in the 1990s, when refugees, workers, and students from Somalia, Iraq, Turkey, Afghanistan, and other Middle Eastern countries chose Finland as their new home. Urban centers, especially Helsinki, Espoo, and Vantaa became nuclei for Muslim cultural pockets. The beauty of Finland's Muslim community is its diversity. Turkish shop owners, Somali families, Arab engineers, Pakistani students, and Afghan entrepreneurs are all building a new social ecosystem under one roof. Today in Helsinki, halal restaurants, cultural shops, community centers, mosques, and student-run Islamic societies form a living network, creating a soothing contrast of Middle Eastern warmth amid Scandinavian minimalism. The biggest driver of Muslim population growth in Finland is the youth factor. Immigrant background families have higher birth rates, and their median age is significantly younger than the local Finnish population, ensuring natural and consistent long-term growth. Researchers estimate that Muslims in Finland could become one of Europe's fastest growing groups. While Finland is unlikely to become Muslim majority, the country's future is clearly trending toward greater multiculturalism. Islamic cultural visibility is now part of everyday Finnish life. The proportion of Muslim background children in schools is steadily increasing. Islamic student unions are more active at universities, and Muslim voices are gradually growing in Finnish media. Mosques, once rare, are now well-established community hubs offering worship, language classes, youth programs, food drives, and social festivals. Yes, debates about integration, employment gaps, and cultural adjustment exist, even in calm Finland. But the most interesting fact is that Finland, with its strong social trust and high equality mindset, provides immigrants the opportunity to adapt. While xenophobia exists, it rarely dominates national identity because respect and empathy are deeply rooted Finnish values. Future projections suggest Finland's Muslim population could reach 3 to 5% by 2050. While this may seem a small percentage, in a low population country like Finland, it represents a significant shift. And the most fascinating part, all this growth is happening peacefully, naturally, and at a low drama pace, just like Finland itself. Today, a Somali cafe owner running a shop in snowy Helsinki, an Iraqi software engineer working at Nokia's campus, a Pakistani student researching at Tampere University, and a Turkish family expanding their business in Espoo, all are shaping a new Finland. A Finland that is quiet, strong, and increasingly multicultural. Number 9, Switzerland. A country that immediately evokes a postcard-perfect image. Snow-capped Alps, crystal-clear lakes, a sweet aroma of chocolate, and a level of discipline that seems to set the world's balance. But that's only the surface. Switzerland is also writing another story, a deep demographic shift, where the Muslim community is quietly but powerfully growing. Today, Switzerland's Muslim population is estimated at around 6%, one of the highest proportions in Europe. But the most interesting aspect isn't the percentage, it's the pace of growth. Switzerland has historically been an immigration-heavy country, but the current wave of Muslim migration began in the 1990s, after the wars in the former Yugoslavia. Muslims from Bosnia, Kosovo, and Albania permanently changed the structure of Swiss society. Their cultural DNA is unique, both European and Muslim, and this mix has dramatically enriched Switzerland's multicultural texture. Walk through Zurich, Geneva, Basel, or Lausanne, and you'll see Turkish bakeries, Balkan cafes, Middle Eastern restaurants, halal markets, and mosque signs blending seamlessly into the clean, modern Swiss environment. The combination of Swiss architecture and Islamic community spaces creates a unique harmony, a fusion of modernity and tradition, where the elements complement rather than compete. Switzerland's Muslim population growth is driven not only by immigration, but also by family stability and youthfulness. Muslim communities maintain a healthier age structure, while the native Swiss population is entering a slow aging phase. The numbers may seem small, but the long-term impact is deep and steady. Researchers predict that by 2050, Switzerland's Muslim population could reach 8 to 10%, a significant shift for a small nation. Mosques in Swiss cities are now more than places of worship. They are community centers, social hubs, language learning spaces, youth programs, and interfaith initiative points. A Bosnian Muslim carpenter, a Kosovar family-run restaurant owner, a Turkish entrepreneur, and a Syrian engineer all have become core parts of Switzerland's economic machinery. An interesting paradox exists. Switzerland is politically conservative, yet socially tolerant. Controversies over minarets occur, but on the ground, daily coexistence between Muslims and the Swiss population is surprisingly smooth. The Swiss principle is simple: live and let live, and Muslim integration is naturally following this formula. Swiss schools see a steadily increasing ratio of Muslim-origin children, nurturing a new generation that is bilingual, multicultural, and globally aware. Muslim students actively run societies, host interfaith events, and deepen community understanding. This slow, silent transformation will turn turn Switzerland into a highly diverse society by 2040 to 2050. Imagine the eternal snow of the Alps on one side, the warm hospitality of Balkan Muslim families on the other, Swiss efficiency combined with Middle Eastern flavors. This mix is turning Switzerland into a global village in the mountains. Today, at train stations, corporate offices, cafes, and marketplaces, you can hear a multicultural hum where Swiss German, French, Italian, and Albanian accents blend together, and the Muslim community's presence continues to grow quietly, strongly, and deeply rooted. Number 10, Spain, country that feels like a masterpiece painted by both Europe and Arabia. Golden beaches, the fiery rhythm of flamenco, the sweet aroma of tapas, and the timeless Islamic architecture of the Alhambra. Half of Spain's cultural identity is European, and the other half reflects its historical Muslim civilization. But amid this rich past, another story is quietly unfolding, a fast-growing modern Muslim Spain. Today, Spain's Muslim population is estimated at around 4 to 5%, but this figure is steadily rising, making it one of Europe's fastest-growing Muslim populations. Spain's Muslim community is divided into two main groups. First, immigrants from Morocco, Algeria, and North Africa, who arrived after the 1990s. Second, Spanish converts and long-settled families who are reviving centuries-old Andalusian Muslim heritage in a modern identity. Walking through the streets of Barcelona, Madrid, Valencia, Malaga, or Granada, you can feel the heartbeat of modern Spain. Halal restaurants, North African bakeries, Arabic cafes, Moroccan spice markets, and vibrant Muslim neighborhoods where Arabic, Spanish, and French accents mix in the same crowd. Barcelona's Raval district and Madrid's Lavapiés are living examples of multicultural life, where music, food, fashion, and languages create an energetic environment. The strongest drivers of Spain's Muslim growth are immigration, family trends, and a young demographic base. North African families have higher birth rates compared to Spain's aging native population. Researchers estimate that by 2050, Spain's Muslim population could reach 7 to 9%, significantly reshaping the country's cultural landscape. Spain's Muslim presence is not just social, but also cultural. Andalusia, Granada, Seville, Cordoba remains an emotional home for Muslim communities, as it was the center of Islamic civilization for 700 years, influencing science, philosophy, architecture, and art. Today, mosques, Islamic cultural centers, heritage restoration programs, and interfaith events revive this historical connection, turning Spain's Islamic legacy into a living memory rather than just a museum exhibit. Landmarks like Cordoba's Mezquita, Granada's Alhambra, and Seville's Giralda act as spiritual bridges for Muslim travelers, students, and Spanish youth. Thousands of young Muslims participate in heritage tours, architectural study programs, and cultural events, keeping this legacy alive. Modern Spain reflects this growth as well. A Moroccan taxi driver in Madrid, an Algerian engineer in Barcelona's tech sector, a Spanish Muslim student pursuing Islamic studies in Granada, and a Pakistani family running a business in Valencia all define Spain's new multicultural heartbeat. Spain's integration model emphasizes respect plus coexistence. Political debates about immigration can become heated, especially during economic pressures, but Spanish society remains warm, friendly, and focused on interpersonal bonds. Mosques are rapidly expanding in Granada, Madrid, Barcelona, Malaga, and Seville, becoming hubs for education, youth programs, charity, and cultural activities. Muslims blend into Spanish food, fashion, and festivals, while locals adopt Middle Eastern flavors and traditions. This cultural exchange is defining Spain's future, a Spain that is cosmopolitan, historical, and increasingly influenced by Muslim communities. Imagine an evening in Granada with passionate flamenco playing, while the peaceful echo of the call to prayer rises in the distance. This is Spain beautifully merging its past and present in a single frame. Europe's Muslim communities are not just numbers. They are young, vibrant, and shaping the continent's urban life, culture, and society. From Sweden's snowy cities to Spain's historic streets, Europe is evolving, blending centuries of history with modern multiculturalism. These communities are shaping Europe's 21st century story, one city, one neighborhood, and one family at a time. If you enjoyed this journey, hit like, share with friends, and subscribe for more deep dives into global cultures and communities. Comment below which country's story surprised you the most.